Welcome back, guys. This is the AJ Show. It's episode 15. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. Joining me is Adam Grego, also known as Adam Steele. And, we just got news right before we went on that Julio Jones is now going to the Titans. So we had a show plan out, and we were going to talk about Julio, but at the end. And now we have to talk about him, first and foremost at the beginning because, wow, going to the Titans, they were the odds-on favorite at the end of the day. The most recent plus 200, the Patriots were plus 300, and the Seahawks were plus 400. So I guess as a Rams fan, I can tell you I'm happy he's not going to the NFC West because it seems like that's where everybody goes. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it makes sense. It's not that shocking at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
Didn't we talk about it last week that it was like our favorite spot for him? Or at least I said it was my favorite spot for him.
The Browns, but
well, we said that would just be crazy.
Yeah, that would have been just
and Aaron Rodgers on the Browns. We got into that discussion, but
that was fun.
No, this makes sense. I mean, it's not that shocking or anything, and the fit is there. I like the way that they run their offense. I think it's gonna really play into his strengths, especially now in his career. Just being a bigger bodied kind of go up and get it kind of guy. I like it. I like it a lot. So good for the Titans.
Yeah,
sure.
I think it diversifies their receiver room. When you look, they added Josh Reynolds, somebody that I think is actually, he's more of a big slot for me. Obviously, he can play on the outside at 6'3", but he's not a big-bodied receiver. We need to stop calling 6'3" guys big-bodied if they're toothpick thin, and that's really Josh Reynolds. He can't go up and get the football the way some fans were talking about him doing. Then they have Des Fitzpatrick, who they got in the draft out of Louisville. Really like him, but he's a rookie, and he's a late-round rookie. Then you have A.J. Brown, who's a little, literally do-it-all guy, but he's not quite Julio Jones. And Julio Jones just adds a new dynamic to that offense, and I think they needed it because they have no tight ends. They let Jonnu Smith go, And so, for me, I think this is going to be good for Tannehill. I'm sure part of this is kind of frustrating for Arthur Smith because he's like, I just get here, and now I have to trade Julio Jones back to the team that I was at. Can you imagine what we could have done with Julio Jones last year, the year prior? So
yeah,
I'm sure that has to creep in your mind.
And it just makes me wonder why they didn't draft a quarterback. I mean, I know they got Kyle Pitts, but you're clearly you dismantled your team. I mean, it doesn't make you better today in this season to get rid of Julio Jones for a second-round pick is what it looked like.
I will say this. I do like what the Falcons did by sticking with Matt Ryan. I think it's similar to a Ben Roethlisberger. I think it's similar to a Phillip Rivers with the Chargers. I think
Ben has more to give than they do right now, or did Phillip Rivers.
Well,
Ben is better
Phillip
than
Rivers
where Phillip
was more.
was.
But I can tell you right now, I think Matt Ryan is better than Phillip Rivers. And I think Matt Ryan –
I can't say because I haven't watched him the last year, so
I think he's criminally underrated. He's I actually have it from the video that I just came out with on my channel. He's got 55,767 passing yards, a career 65.4 completion percentage, 347 touchdowns, 158 interceptions.
I think people say he's a good he had a great career and stuff.
I don't think
they
people, because I know I didn't realize he's he's ninth all time in passing yards, 10th all time in touchdowns. He's thrown over 15 interceptions just twice in his career. He's thrown at least 20 touchdowns 12 times in a row.
Yeah, and
he's thrown over 4,000 yards 10 years in a row.
I think every year he's been in the league, people have called him at least a top 10 quarterback, and then he had 1 year. Didn't he have an MVP season at one point?
Right? Yeah, he won an MVP.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think people give him respect.
I'm not saying people don't give him respect. I just think he's a little underrated.
He's been on some really bad Falcons teams.
That makes sense.
So
I think when you look at what he was dealing with last year, you have a guy in Matt Hennessy, a third-round pick, asked to be a center, starting center for you. You have Chris Lindstrom, who I really like out of Boston College. But the thing for me, looking at their offensive line, it's young. It's you have Jake Matthews, and that's really it. So, I do think that's the case. Caleb McGarry is the guy they got in the 2019 draft, first round. So it's Matt Ryan dealing with a young offensive line. And I feel like this team is not a rebuilding team. I think they're really trying to make do with what they have. You look at them bringing in Dean Pease, who was the defensive coordinator for the Titans. He was the defensive coordinator for the Patriots all those years. This is a guy that's going to come in, and he's going to change their defense. Last year, they went through all sorts of wacky stuff going on, with Dan Quinn. Having any coach, it doesn't matter how good your coach is, having any coach on the hot seat is just not ideal in my opinion. So, I think there was just a lot of stuff going on last year. They were 4-12, but you could argue they could have won 6 games that they lost. It came down to the wire. Matt Ryan gave them an opportunity, even without a running game, So this year they go out, they get Mike Davis in free agency. We'll see how he does. I think he's more of kind of a, part of a committee backfield. But Calvin Ridley is the reason why they can make this move. They can move on from Julio and not cry about it, because Calvin Ridley turned into a superstar last year. I don't think people realize 90 receptions, 1,374 yards, 9 touchdowns. He really emerged last year.
Calvin Ridley?
Yeah. And I think they're going to get some really good contribution out of Russell Gage, who had 72 catches for 786 yards last year. So, I'm feeling good about the Falcons being competitive. I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl. I don't know if they'll even make the playoffs.
I don't think they're even making the playoffs.
But I feel like they're competitive. And with the Titans, their defense still concerns me, because we talked about that. They let a lot of guys go. And now their offense could be a team that scores 30-plus a game.
Yeah, their offense, though, is something that complements a not great defense. So they got that going for them,
So for teams in that division, should the Colts, Jaguars, we won't even say the Texans. They're going to go 2-14. But the Colts and Jaguars, should they be worried?
Well,
how many wins do you think this gives the Titans?
I think I said the Titans were a playoff team. I know you're the one who swapped the Colts for the Titans.
Yeah.
I would say, then definitely the Colts should be even more worried, because they just got better than what they were a day ago. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And to me, they are a playoff team. I think they're going to be in the playoffs.
I'm on the fence. I think this is, think about this. It's very realistic that the Titans' defense is that bad that it holds them back. It's very realistic that the Colts come out with, Carson Wentz, and he struggles or gets hurt. And then all of a sudden, the Texans are horrible. The Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence, their team, it's weird. And it feels weird to say this because they went 1-15 last year. But I think there's a very real possibility, if the Jaguars get going early on, they can win the division.
What?
I do. I think so. Yeah.
What? How? How?
I
thought you were totally against the Urban Meyer stuff and all the weird stuff they're doing.
Well, I am against it. But I'm saying if the Titans' defense ends up being that bad, and the Colts
I don't think it's going to be bad.
I think Carson Wentz is going to be great. But if Carson Wentz isn't great, or he gets hurt, and then say they throw in Jacob Eason and he struggles or something, I could absolutely see the Jaguars stealing the division. I think they have a solid defense on paper, and I think their offense actually has a bunch of weapons. When you look at James Robinson, and you and I didn't like where he was picked, but Travis Etienne is going to give them something. And then they have DJ Chark, they have Laviska Shenault, they have Marvin Jones. I'm not going to sit here and say Tim Tebow is going to be a major impact, but I think Trevor Lawrence. I don't know, man. I think it's a 3-team division. The Jaguars are a dark horse if things,
Are you just out on the Texans?
You have to be, I think. They're just such a mess.
They are.
I feel for DeCosta, because I do not Eric DeCosta. Who's the guy that took over? The GM. He took over from the New England. I feel for New England or the guy from New England, because here's the thing. I think he's going to build a good team. It's going to take him time. I don't know if we'll get that time. I don't know if the Texans are going to hold it against him, but he's walking into a horrible situation. He thought coming into this job he was going to have Deshaun Watson for the next 5-6 years.
He still might.
Well, we don't know.
We haven't heard a peep about that in a minute.
That's not a good thing. Normally that stuff's not very good. So Tyrod Taylor, I don't think is a terrible quarterback, and Davis Mills, I liked him more than Mac Jones.
Do you think Deshaun plays?
I don't.
Yeah.
No. Aiden just said, sorry for being late. Also, Jake with the polo. Impossible. Texans are a dumpster fire. So I guess, like, my thought process in this is that, like, the Jaguars are not a 1-15 team. We know they tanked last year. Like, that's what they did. And so they got better this year. And I don't know. I kind of have a good feeling about, them with Trevor Lawrence. And
I think they could sneak into the playoffs.
They have to win the division. I think the wild card will be tougher.
And it'd be a lot of stuff that would have to break for me to say the Jaguars could do it, but it's not impossible. Like,
no, I agree with you.
I
It's
love
not
Trevor
impossible.
Lawrence, so I'm like sold on him already. But
and if this doesn't show you that I don't hate because people thought I hated him.
Nah.
He was my number 2 quarterback.
Yeah.
So,
but I think to me it's like Tennessee is far and away the running away with that division. To be quite honest, I see him winning 10 games at least.
Yeah, I just I mean, I think they added, some key pieces, the Jaguars. I mean, 2020 they added C.J. Henderson at corner. They signed Shaq Griffin. Andrew Wingard played very well last year. They got Andre Sisco in the 3rd. Tyson Campbell, the corner, in the 2nd. Joe Schobert's a guy that I really liked from Cleveland. He's been their middle linebacker, very good. Miles Jack. Then they have guys like Taven Bryan, Davin Hamilton, Josh Allen, Caleb Chason. I mean, Dwayne Smoot they brought back, Malcolm Brown in the interior. That defense looks good on paper. It's not amazing by any stretch.
They're a few pieces away from
it
being really good and filled with really young, talented players too, which is always scary.
I really like that they're not just giving up on James Robinson, though. You get a 7th-round pick who turns out to be that big of a stud.
Well, some might say they were by drafting Etienne.
You could argue that, but the way they want to use Etienne, it sounds to me like he's going to be like a slot,
which is
like
so
gadget
stupid.
guy. Which
also dumb.
I agree with that. But I'm just thinking in terms of just like volume.
I can't get over how much I hate that pick. Travis Etienne in the 1st round.
Well, here's why it doesn't make sense.
Ugh.
They signed Jamal Agnew. Do you remember that?
I don't think it makes sense no matter what.
Well,
period.
Yeah, I don't agree with picking a running back in the 1st round and being like, yeah, you're going to be a slot guy. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just, their offensive line looks pretty solid. I like Cam Robinson. They got Walker Little, a guy that they like, in the 2nd round. Andrew Norwell is a stud. Brandon Linder's a stud. A.J. Cann's solid. They got Ben Barch last year in the 4th. And then Jawan Taylor from Florida was my number 1 tackle in 2019. So
no, but there were so many good slot guys available at that pick as well, which also doesn't make sense. The whole thing just didn't make sense to me at all, dude, when they picked him.
Oh, I get that.
It was crazy.
No, I definitely get that. I mean, it was a weird pick, and
it felt like
he was RB5 for me. So.
It felt like they were like, oh God, we're forced into picking like a fast kind of, running back here, and we maybe they would have preferred Najee Harris, because honestly, Najee being teamed up with Trevor Lawrence would have been a beautiful.
Oh, I agree.
Two rookies in there to go in there and just.
But I also think it was the James Robinson effect. They didn't want to step on his toes, and so they added a guy that was different than.
And now they're like, oh, he's not going to be running back. He's actually going to be a receiver. And you're like, that's still bad. That still doesn't make sense.
I mean, well, let's think about this. When did Philly get not the guy Gainwell? When did they get Kenneth Gainwell? Like the 5th round.
Mm-hmm.
I told you, I said on this show, he's a better receiving threat than Etienne. And you were telling me, you're like, man, I got news for you. I think Etienne's like receiving ability is a little overrated.
It was.
You told me from the get-go.
On tape, it just was overrated. You were like, oh, once he gets the ball, yeah, he's fast and that shows up. But like prior to it, with the running of the routes and catching it with his hands and just the body control that you see from like really talented receivers, I was like, I don't see it.
I feel that. I definitely feel that.
But, sorry, Jacksonville. I'm excited about Jacksonville, though. I am. I think I like what they're doing over there besides the Travis Etienne pick.
Well, that's going to bring us into the worst to first category
Okay.
that I had planned. So the teams that I have here: Jets 2-4, Lions 5-11, Eagles 4-11-1, Jaguars 1-15, Bengals 4-11-1, Broncos 5-11, Falcons 4-12, 49ers 6-10. We know what the obvious, like, no-brainer pick is to go from worst to first. It's the Niners.
So it's like you picked out the worst teams from last year
Yeah.
and who's going to make the biggest jump.
So,
Is that what we're doing here?
well, how many of those teams could go from worst to first? Do you think it's just the Niners?
We're like worst to first in their division or
Yeah.
in the NFL, period?
Yeah, worst to first in their division.
So, okay. Yeah, I would say
I mean, definitely the Niners.
49ers, absolutely. You got to throw them in there. Broncos?
The Falcons, I don't think
I
so
don't
because
think
their
so.
division's so deep.
Yeah.
The Broncos
Definitely
is
not.
interesting if they get Aaron Rodgers,
I know,
but
that's what I was
literally
thinking, but that's such a shot in the dark. You can't predict
yeah.
that.
You can't be like,
Yeah.
well, if they get Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
they're gonna win the division.
Yeah.
Like that's not the same thing. The Bengals are just in
Nah.
such a loaded division.
Yeah, that's not gonna
They're
happen.
coming in last again, and they could honestly be a solid team this year and still come
Yeah.
in last. Like
I anticipate them being a pretty good team, man. I do.
the Jaguars, like I said, I think they have a shot. The Eagles have a shot to be the worst team in the league.
Yeah, yeah.
The Lions, if Aaron Rodgers does not play for Green Bay,
The Lions.
the Lions are in this thing.
The Lions are in it. Honestly, the Lions are in it the most, and Jacksonville in it the most.
Yeah. So 49. So you would say the 49ers, Jacksonville, and the
Yeah.
Lions,
Yep.
and then no way to the Jets.
Nah, no way.
It's just
The Bills got that on lock. If the Patriots don't come up and take it,
and not
There's
only
no way
that,
the
like if
Jets
Tua
take it.
plays well, Miami's got a really good roster. So it's
Mhm.
like I just don't see the Jets. I don't see them making any headway. I feel bad, but that's how I feel. So kind of piggybacking off of that though, with the whole Rodgers thing, Jordan Love is preparing to start. People forget this. Like right now, OTAs are going on, like this mini camp thing, and
he has to play. Like
Jordan
he's
Love is
starting.
starting right now.
Yeah, because Aaron's not there.
Yeah.
What did you like Jordan Love coming out? Not really.
I thought he was okay at the Senior Bowl, but I didn't see like first round talent.
Why not? Because he has an arm and he's mobile.
He has an arm. I just don't see the consistent accuracy. I feel like he's
Yeah.
missing that.
I agree with that.
He's a rhythm quarterback. Like as soon as he misses a throw, he gets into a bad rhythm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's funny at the end of the season last year, when the Packers were still in it and the Steelers were out. Obviously, I was like, man, the Steelers should look over at Jordan Love and try and trade for him. And
I
was
know
like,
you
that
were.
would be nice. Obviously, that's not going to happen at all now because they're holding on to him. They don't know what's going to happen with Rodgers, but I like him. I mean, obviously, yeah, there's lapses in consistency for sure, and we haven't seen a lot of him because they just haven't put him out there that much. But like as a prospect and like someone to be excited about inside your organization, I think he's exciting. You know.
I agree, and I think he's not a dual threat quarterback, but he has some mobility.
He's got mobility, but I don't think that's another weakness of his is like he doesn't use it in the same way that like a Mahomes does or Watson does, and like he doesn't run around and create plays. He'll just run.
Well, I think he's too in structure from what I saw at Utah State.
Yeah, you want to see more of that like run and gun style quarterback from him.
So, will Rodgers play again for Green Bay?
Yeah.
You do think so?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like he's going to Denver.
I mean, that would be a great spot.
I mean, I think
Where else would he go?
why did Green Bay not go out and get Julio Jones? You think Aaron Rodgers would have turned down playing with Julio Jones and Devontae Adams?
Oh, that would have been amazing. They probably don't have the cap space, right? Let me look up their cap.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could have made it work, but I don't know if he'll play again in Green Bay. He might.
Pulls up an actual cap.
Yeah, I don't know what to think. I mean, I think Rodgers obviously could play in Green Bay. He's the reigning MVP, but I don't know. I don't know. I think obviously you bring back Rodgers, but I think it's out of their control. So with that being said, You can't just force him to play if he's
their
not
cap
going
is
to.
very tight, so
Yeah.
that's potentially one of the reasons. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know where Rodgers is gonna end up. I'm just saying the Packers because it's the easiest answer, but I don't know. I mean,
So then, what can we expect from Jordan Love? If he takes over, we're talking about the Lions. If he takes over, are they out of the division race? I don't think so.
because their defense is great.
It's all right.
You don't like their defense?
I
like their defense.
I don't love their defense.
And it's getting better. And they just had another year. And didn't they draft Eric Stokes?
They did, but they're probably going to still play Kevin King on the boundary.
No way, really?
They signed him to a $6 million deal.
1 year, 6?
I don't know why, but yeah.
I don't know. I like their defense. And I like their weapons. I don't know. I would see them still battling. It would definitely raise the chances that the Lions take it. But
I think that they would be in it. I don't love their defense, but I think they would be in the race. And how good would the Packers be with Love? I think they'd be a 9-10, maybe 11 win team.
11?
Maybe 11.
I don't see 11.
Okay, we'll stick
I would
with
say
10.
like 9 or 10.
We'll stick with
which is still
there's
good
17
enough.
games, so that would be like 11-6.
Yeah, essentially.
I could see 11-6.
Yeah, exactly. So like 9 and 10 is where I would.
Okay, so 10-7 is so ugly. It's not as ugly as 7-10.
It's still ugly.
Moment of silence for 16 game schedule.
No, I don't know that they could. 11 wins would be a lot to expect Jordan Love to come in and get for you.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
they're not winning 13 games with Jordan Love.
No.
Now, I want to bring up a rookie quarterback because Colin Cowherd. If you saw it,
No, I ignore him now.
Okay,
He's
well
just
then
annoying.
So Mac Jones.
Oh God.
So
oh wait, I did see this because he talked about him in the showers.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Because I was like, excuse me?
It's Colin Cowherd. That was my thought. I was like, yeah, he would say something like that.
Oh my God.
And not even realize how weird he sounds.
That was really weird. That was just, I wasn't expecting that. When people were talking about it, I was just like, I don't know why everyone's talking about this. And then that happened. I was just like, oh. And I don't even know what to make of that. I mean, it's just so weird, you know? But yeah, it's the rookies are really interesting. I saw what's his name, my guy from Ohio State, Justin Fields.
Yep.
I saw he was, which actually reminds me, Trevor Lawrence, my number 3 quarterback. Justin Fields, number 2. Anyway, I saw Justin Fields he was talking about who was your center? The coach was asking him. And he's like, oh, yeah, my center was Josh Myers. And he's like, but he went to the wrong team, though, because he went to Green Bay.
Yeah.
It's like he's already adapting to that, that rivalry, that lifestyle, all that. I really am curious to know if he's going to start or not.
I would do it.
I mean, I would.
I like him.
I like him, too.
It makes me sad that the Steelers missed out on this class. I mean, I hate to bring it up every week, but it's just watching these upcoming quarterbacks. It's so depressing.
But you have Dwayne Haskins.
He's just as promising relative to them.
Yeah.
But I don't you put Dwayne Haskins in this class. He's the last one picked of the top.
I think he'd be picked ahead of Mac Jones. They were similar.
I don't know that he would.
They were well. I mean,
I wouldn't.
I don't know. I think. I mean, you talked about it on your video. I've talked about it a lot on here. I think Haskins is a legit option to replace Big Ben in Pittsburgh.
I mean, it's hard to beat, having a guy that you signed for $1 million who was a former first round 15 overall pick. I mean, so
he's got a rocket arm, which
I
don't think people realize.
He's got a great arm, yeah.
And then you could tell people don't watch Dwayne Haskins tape when they're like, yeah, he's mobile. It's like,
no, he's not.
No, he's a statue.
Yeah.
He tries to move.
Statue.
He tries to move and he can't.
No, he can move. He's just not fast.
He's not fast at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you get to the NFL, if you're not fast in college, if you're not running by guys in college, you're not going to do that in the NFL.
I love how people were saying he's mobile. I specifically remember that leading up to his draft year. And I was like, what are they talking?
Do you remember his teammate said,
that is
bro, I
literally-
ran faster than him,
that
and he
is
was a
liter-
defensive tackle.
That is literally just them, like, being like, oh, black? Oh, mobile.
Yeah, I know,
100%. That's
right?
all that was. It was like, that's just embarrassing that you guys are actually saying.
Well, it's scary because it's like there's people that do that all the time where they will just, like, they'll prejudge somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, I have no words, you know?
Yep.
But, I mean, that happens a lot. Any news that you've been watching and you're like, oh, that's interesting. I want to talk about that.
Honestly, not much.
There
Not
hasn't been a
much.
ton.
Yeah, not
I mean, the
much
Julio
exciting
Jones stuff is pretty big, but you can only talk about that for so much.
Yeah.
I am excited for honestly, one of the rookies I can't stress enough that I'm really excited for is Najee Harris. Like I can't
me too.
can't stress that enough. And I'm
He
not
looks
even
great.
a Steelers fan, but I will be seeing him with you
Yeah.
against the Broncos,
No.
going up against the running back you initially wanted.
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on the Broncos.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know how much of a role he's going to have. He went to a horrible situation, I think, because he's behind like Melvin Gordon, and I just
they're not going to use him how I would have wanted him to get used.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Every running back was lining up to play for the Steelers because that is wide open.
Wide open.
Anthony McFarland's going to be used as pass
Scat back,
catcher out of the
yeah.
backfield.
Yeah.
Like that's what he's going to do.
Yeah. He'll be just change of pace. Really, he's not even going to be used as a pass catcher much. I think he'll be mostly change of pace because Najee Harris, in my opinion,
Well, that's true.
is actually the best receiving back that was in this class as well as
He was
best
great.
running back. Like he has that body control. He has those hands. So.
He and Kenneth Gainwell ended up grading out as the best receivers in this class for me.
Yeah.
Out of the running backs, of course.
Right.
I feel like Najee's receiving ability somewhat got underrated because people just started freaking out about Travis Etienne.
Yeah, because he's fast. Which, whatever. I'm excited, though. So excited to see him to go to those games.
Well, Najee's pretty fast.
No, he is, yeah.
Yeah, he ran like, what, a 4.49,
He didn't
4.5?
run. He didn't run.
Oh,
but
okay.
His tape
His tape
shows
would
like
show me he's
4.5,
like
low
Cam
4.5.
Akers fast.
What's that? What did he run?
4.49.
Yeah, maybe high 4.4s or like low 4.5s.
Yeah.
Which is plenty good when you're 6'3", 230. Like, you're good.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Exactly. And, he's probably, I'm not saying he'll be Derrick Henry, but he's probably like the next type of guy to be kind of like Derrick Henry.
Right. Yeah, like straight workhorse, just,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I think he offers more than Henry as far as receiving.
He does.
Because Henry, you dump it off to, and he can run, but like he's not a receiver.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't run routes. Like,
No.
like I'll tell you, like
a little too
Najee can run
stiff.
routes. You can
Yeah.
put him in the slot and just have him do his thing.
I'm excited, man. He's going to be great.
I hope they take advantage of the fact that he can work in the slot because if they do, they can keep McFarland in the backfield and
Yeah.
just totally screw around with defenses.
Yeah. I'm excited. Matt Canada better get creative. That's all I got to say. I'm sick
You have
and
no
tired.
excuses.
No excuses.
You're 4 deep at receiver. You have a running back that essentially can do everything you want him to do.
Yeah.
And you got your running back that you coached in college.
No excuses.
No excuse.
None.
And the offensive line is a lot better than last year. I can already tell you
Hopefully.
that.
I mean, it's a low bar, but
It's
Hopefully.
a low bar. I still get a kick out of what Villanueva, like the way he acted. I don't know. I just thought it was funny. It's like, all right, guy, like you were part of that too. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And honestly, he was pretty good at one point, and now he's just, I don't know. I hope the Ravens aren't sitting there like, we got Villanueva, we're good. Because
I think they are. I think they're convinced he's okay.
he's okay.
But not
High-end okay.
he's not good
Low
for
end,
that
not
style
good.
of offense, man.
No, I
run
agree.
heavy offense.
Well,
if you're going to drop back and pass, that's his strength. His
Yeah,
strong suit.
he's not a good run blocker at all.
No. It's not a good match. I don't know what they're thinking, honestly, with him, but
Aiden says Najee can jump like a kangaroo on a trampoline. It's true.
yeah.
I hope he doesn't do that a lot in the NFL though.
I know. I don't want him to risk getting injuries.
From
for
somebody that like watched Gurley like try to jump over everybody.
Yeah.
It just like 99 times out of 100 it'll work, but that one
The one
time,
time you bust your
tear
knee
your
and you're
ACL.
done. Yeah.
it's like it's not worth it,
No.
And Najee offers too much to that offense. Like if he were to go down,
That would be a problem.
I can already see they're centering their offense around him
Probably, yeah.
because I think they want to make things easier on Ben. which
Well, he just
finally
shouldn't be throwing the ball 50 times a game. No,
God, no.
No quarterback should. That's
no,
not
absolutely not.
a
I don't care how
balanced-
good your
yeah.
quarterback is. Throwing 50 times a game is not good.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, that's 50 times throwing the ball. But
Right.
that means you've dropped back more than 50 times
Right.
because you don't throw the ball every drop back.
Yeah. It's not good. It's just not conducive to having a balanced team
No, of
or
course
helping
not.
your defense because you're off the field in either 10 seconds or, 2 minutes if
Yeah.
you score a touchdown. Like running, you can really keep your defense. It just helps everyone.
No,
run the
I
ball.
agree with that.
Yeah.
So now talking about, because I do want to bring them up, because we're talking about the Steelers, so I want to bring up the Rams. What are your thoughts on like what they did going out? How big of a role do you think? Because your rookie, obviously, I think he's going to be a big part of the offense. For me, I think Atwell is going to be he'll be like, I don't think he's just a gadget guy, and that's not necessarily all he was used to do at Louisville. The guy's a legit receiver, and it was surprising how well he operated on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
How much of a role do you think he plays? Because I actually projected him to have more rushing yards than receiving yards. I think he's going to be used like that in this offense, but what are your thoughts?
It's hard for me to say, but knowing Sean McVay, I don't think he's going to be like – I think it's going to be balanced. Sean McVay is amazing at spreading the ball around and just getting the matchups he wants. So I don't expect him to have like 80 catches. I expect him to have maybe 40 to 60 and then – like giving him opportunities to beat guys downfield and then being creative in the short and intermediate game to kind of get him on some matchups where he can maybe blow by the guy or maybe he can make one guy miss and take it 20, 30 yards. Like that's what I see them utilizing him in. So not necessarily like a gadget guy, but yeah, get him the ball in favorable matchups, which Sean McVay is one of the best I've ever watched at doing. So
the interesting thing with Sean McVay is he said the most impressive player that he's seen so far in OTAs is 4th-round rookie Jacob Harris.
What position is he?
He was the wide receiver tight end hybrid out of UCF.
Okay.
He ran like a 4.3 and was like 6'5".
Okay.
So they want to mold him into a tight end. I find that very interesting. Do you think he can be a contributor this year? Because I honestly don't know what to think with him.
I think if Sean McVay's already like gushing over the guy, you're going to see him on the field, right?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was, because he played soccer, and so he's only played like football for like 2-3 years.
Right.
And I mean, I guess the way I see it, I look at him as like a Mike Evans type of body.
Okay.
Where he should have probably stayed at wide receiver if it was me, but they want to play him at tight end. So he's been with the tight end coach, and they're really trying to make that work.
Well,
I don't know.
fourth-round
I mean,
pick is nothing to scoff at. I mean, that's a high level of investment.
Yeah.
So they see something in him. It's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
Like a 7th-rounder scrap guy. They were just like, well, he's fast. So
It just seems more and more like each day this draft class that I thought was more for the future might actually end up contributing decent amount this year.
I'm excited to see what they do with Stafford.
Even
I think it's going to be a totally different offense. It's going to open things up in a way different way than what you could do with Goff.
I don't know if you've been seeing, but like Brian Baldinger, he's been posting like these videos on Stafford. It's funny because you can see he has such a connection, and like he sides with Stafford and the Rams and does not side with Goff.
Yep.
And so he's just like, people come to me and they tell me like, why didn't Stafford do this? Why didn't Stafford do this? He's like, here's a 3rd and 9. You can see Stafford has this guy wide open. This is Marvin Jones. He throws the ball. It's perfectly placed. Marvin isn't even looking for the ball. He's like, but that's all on Stafford, right? And then he goes to another play, and he's like, this one, 3rd and 11. Stafford takes a giant hit on this one. He throws it deep over the middle to Kenny Galladay. I don't know what Kenny Galladay is doing, but he's not catching the football.
Yeah.
And, like, it's funny, like, he was doing that, and then he showed with Jared Goff and the Rams, he's like, and so people tell me, the offensive line's bad. The offensive line's bad. The offensive line's bad. But he's like, here's a 3-man rush. There's no excuse to take a sack on a 3-man rush. And these guys are stonewalling him. And Goff at least needs to get rid of the ball. And he's sitting there just like holding on to the ball. And then he ends up taking the sack.
Yeah.
And so like I thought that was actually cool that he pointed it out, because I was seeing that on film. And it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like on Twitter, people have it's
you're
like
you're gonna piss someone off.
Yeah. But I think, like you said, it's just going to be a different offense. I mean, they could run the same offense they ran last year and it would look different because it's Stafford. And Stafford analytically had the best scrambling grade of any quarterback last year.
Yeah.
So I think he's more methodical in his approach. He's not going to like run for 1,000 yards. He doesn't need to. But he moves, he creates. It's like Stafford low-key was doing what Mahomes is doing now. He was doing that years ago and wasn't getting the attention in Detroit. Can't stress that enough. So I'm really excited to see him with the Rams, man. I really want to see him continue to move up the rankings with quarterbacks. I think he can really shoot up into that elite top-tier status this year. And, I mean, I was just a kid in a candy store when they made that trade because I've been a supporter of his for years, So, and then it's funny because the Lions, there was a report out of OTAs, Jared Goff is wowing coaches.
I'm sure.
What was the Sims Lefko thing? Like,
when they have those headlines about people wowing, it's like, they're compensating.
Yeah, it's like overreaction off season or something.
Yeah, something like that, but
I know
I'm
it's
sure
the
he's
ACL
not wowing
epidemic,
coaches. I'm sure he's not wowing coaches.
Here's the thing. I think Goff is going to be good with the Lions. But
what's good?
But I think he'll be like top 20 quarterback, which is good.
Okay.
They'll take it.
I guess. That's pretty bad in my book. You're bottom half of the league.
I don't know if they're going to sign Gurley or not, but man, that'd be crazy. You have Todd Gurley, Jared Goff, Michael Brockers.
They're all former shells of themselves, though, at their peaks.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying that they're going to come out but what if Todd Gurley just turned into 2018 Todd Gurley or 2017 Todd Gurley?
It'd be funny.
I'd be a little mad at the Rams, but at the same time, no, because Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson. I feel good with what they have. I mean, I think they're a Super Bowl team. The only person that I've ever seen say the Rams won't make the playoffs is Cynthia Freeland, and that's why I did that video.
No, I don't know how you say they don't, to be honest.
Literally even people that are notoriously against that team.
They have great weapons. Even without this draft, I would say they're in the playoffs. It's
what I'm curious is that Goff didn't really, and you're seeing this in the OTA clips, Goff didn't really give a guy an opportunity to go up and get it. Because if he was covered, Goff wasn't throwing the ball. If they had separation and they're wide open, Goff would throw it. So it's going to be intriguing for me how everybody has said, well, Cooper Kupp isn't a guy that can go up and get it, or Robert Woods isn't a guy that can go up and get it. But then if Stafford throws it up to them and they start doing that, that's going to add a whole other dynamic to their game that we didn't even know existed.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
And I know it's there for Kupp. He's 6'2". I think people need to stop oh yeah, Kupp's too short. Kupp's not short. He's 6'2".
Yeah.
Van Jefferson, 6'1". Robert Woods is 6 feet. I mean, that's ideal receiver height.
Yeah, so.
So we'll see.
We will see. I'm excited to see it, though.
I'm excited.
Watch it pan out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got anything else on your mind?
Not really, man.
Man, can you imagine if the Julio Jones news didn't come out? What the hell would we have talked about?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just excited about us going to these games.
Oh,
Stadiums
yes.
Being at full capacity. The last team that has to get approved is what? The Colts? We're waiting on the Colts now, right? Because the Broncos just got approved for full capacity.
I actually don't know. Huh.
It was down to 2 teams, the Colts and Broncos, I think. And now it's just the Colts that are the last team.
Just wait until we blow up on YouTube and we can go to all the games.
Oh yeah, I want to.
I mean, every. That's not possible, but.
Well, if you're Evan Washburn.
Yeah, Evan Washburn could teleport, but we haven't figured that out yet.
Have we talked about Evan Washburn?
I don't think so.
If you watch, guys, this upcoming season, when you are watching on sports networks, the pregame shows. Watch out for Evan Washburn being at 3 of the 1:00 p.m. games that are all across the country. I swear to God. Last year, he would be in New York doing a pregame show at the stadium, and then 10 minutes later, you'd see him in L.A. doing a pregame show.
He's just a freak.
He's everywhere. I don't get it, but
I love him, but he's a freak.
He's funny. But yeah, I'm excited to go to the games again and just tailgate and hopefully shoot some content, just make it fun.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely feel that. I mean, I think
Are you going to an LA game?
I'm trying.
That's away or home?
Are you trying to go to one?
I would go to one, yeah.
Yeah, then we should go.
Yeah. I want to go to as many games as I can, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. The way our freedom got like shut down that quickly, you never know what's going to happen, so
Yeah.
I definitely would like to go to as many games as
And
possible.
I want to see the SoFi Stadium, right?
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
Dude,
It looks so great.
we got to see if we can get a tour. I don't know if you've been seeing like that stuff pop up on your feed. I don't know
No.
how many Rams fans you follow, but like I obviously
They're
follow
doing
a bunch.
tours.
They have these tours you can literally throw like on the field. You can go on
Oh,
the
that's
field and
awesome.
throw like touchdowns and stuff.
That's so
like
cool.
it's really cool. And like they had like locker room tours, all that. So you saw like all of SoFi.
Do you have to be like a big, like,
No, it's like
following
it's
for it?
open to anybody.
do you have to like buy a ticket or something probably?
No, I think it's just you buy like a tour. That's it.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that'd be cool. Be a good profile picture to be like,
Yeah.
like like Terrell Owens like in the middle of the.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought that was cool. I'd definitely be down for that. And the Steelers Broncos game, I'm really excited for
Yeah.
because
I'm excited to show you around.
yes,
Have you ever been to Pittsburgh?
I have not.
It's
but
pretty
it-
cool, man.
It just
Have
like
you seen pictures at least?
yeah,
It looks pretty.
I've seen some things because I know Dave Portnoy, Barstool, like he goes there every now and then.
Yeah.
And like he did like the pizza
Yeah.
thing, and like I've seen that. It just seems like it has all my respect because it seems like a very like blue collar. I'm sure I got
Yeah.
that down to a T. It's like a blue collar environment, like
Yeah.
just people that work super hard.
Yeah. And they actually
good people too.
Yeah, and they actually like set up the city like in a good way, like how Albany didn't, where they utilized all the water and the three rivers they have, and there's like a lot of mountains and hills and stuff, so it's really scenic and pretty. And then everything, like the stadiums and the baseball field, are all in the center.
Dude.
So it's like really cool.
And their baseball field, PNC, is
Beautiful.
maybe the best baseball field
Yeah.
in all of
It's
baseball.
too bad their team is horrible.
We're supposed to be
I
so
don't
great.
know. I don't even follow it because every time on Twitter I'm just like, okay, not worth watching. Clearly.
Yeah. Are the Penguins in the Stanley Cup playoffs?
No, I think they lost just like last week. They got bounced. Yeah,
Sorry.
it's okay.
I've like totally been out of hockey. I'm a Vegas fan. I just know we beat Colorado 2 days ago. So
Nice. So they're still in it.
yeah,
Nice.
they're down 2-1, but we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. Pitt's. I'm looking forward to it. I've been to Philadelphia. I didn't feel like I was welcome.
Really?
Yeah, I never
Why?
feel like because I don't know.
Was
it's
it
like
during a football game? Were
No.
you wearing Ram stuff?
no, I just like it. I don't know. It doesn't feel welcoming.
Dang.
No offense to anybody that lives in
Yeah.
Philly, but I just did not feel welcome there.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Have you ever been to a spot where you just didn't feel welcome?
Not really.
No.
No, not really. But I'm sure if I went to like a Browns game, I would.
Oh yeah.
They are so like.
There was a huge Browns fan that just followed the AJ show on Twitter.
Oh really?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot his name. What was his name? Because he
But
just followed us.
The Browns right now, like, there's a lot of great Browns fans, obviously.
Well, he's a good one, McNeil.
Okay.
He's got 360,000 followers.
I've literally never heard of him, but
Yeah.
appreciate you, man. But there's some Browns fans, and I guess I get it, like, because Pittsburgh, not trying to be offensive, has owned them for a long time, and they finally just beat us in the playoffs.
I don't think it's offensive. I think it's just facts.
Yeah, but I'm trying to, tread
Yeah.
lightly here.
You're not the guys at the what was it, the City Sports Grill?
Yeah, right.
Be like, oh, little brother.
Yeah. So I guess I would get it if, like, for 26 years there was just this buildup of animosity, or not 26, whatever it is, and then you finally beat them in the playoffs to be like over the moon, excited and stuff. But there's such a big subset that are just so disrespectful,
Oh yeah.
especially Sir Yacht. He is a piece of work, man. He
His
is like,
he made a TikTok that had like the 5 either bad receivers or overrated receivers, and he put Terry McLaurin on there.
how do you do that? He's amazing.
He's underrated.
He's amazing. I love Terry McLaurin. He's phenomenal.
He's loving Fitz, by the way. I said he would.
That's ridiculous.
I'm so hyped for Fitzpatrick, man. This is his last hurrah. He was gonna retire.
I know.
I love it.
I mean,
And think about this: Fitzpatrick's living large because he's
great
got a
team.
Harvard degree. Dude's brilliant.
how much money do you think he's made in total? It's got to be $100 million.
I mean, I would assume so.
Just floating around.
Can you imagine that? And it's long. Like he hasn't gotten too many concussions, right? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think he gets
he's
hurt
done
that
some stuff.
often.
No, but he's like sacrificed himself on play. Remember?
Oh my god, dude!
He's done some crazy
He
stuff.
like copters in the end zone
yeah.
and stuff. Like, yeah, as long as I'm
he's
hoping.
a journeyman legend.
Yes,
He is like the legend of journeyman quarterbacks.
Like if there was a Hall of Average, he would be there.
Yes.
Or like
He
he's a
would be
little
the-
bit. He's above average, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
No, if there was a hall of journeyman quarterbacks, he would have to be number one, right?
Yeah, I mean, who else would you put?
No one.
I mean,
It's got to be
like
him.
Chad Pennington would be there, I'm sure. Testaverde.
I think it's Fitz with that beard.
I love Fitz.
Yeah, he's cool. He's
Rams
a cool guy.
drafted him in like
He
the
seems like a
6th or 7th round, I think.
Seems like a guy you'd want to have like a drink with, you know?
Oh yeah. I'll never forget. The Rams were getting crushed by the Texans, absolutely crushed, and Fitz came in and led this crazy comeback to win the game as a rookie.
Yeah.
Like Mark Bulger got hurt, he came in, and he came all the way back and won it. And Aiden says, "Sir Yacht, the worst Browns fan."
He definitely is. Him and Gab Gouda. And I don't even care about like talking trash about them because they're like actually like attacking people. Like they're really mean to people and they lie on Twitter all the time, bro. Like the stuff I've seen from them, just bad individuals. Like the video I made on Gab Goody, bro, that was all real. Like I didn't fake DMs or anything. She was really faking DMs from NFL players for clout. NFL players that had wives and kids.
What I don't understand is
Why do you
like,
do that?
that's not content creation.
No, that's just like
Like you're doxing
you're looking
people.
for clout and you're getting people into trouble who are, you know, married and not actually reaching out to you. It's like that's crazy, right? That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't.
And then
Man.
I've never interacted with her on Twitter at all. She blocked me on Twitter. So she must have saw the video.
Oh my god.
Because you know she's the type of girl who's just like Googling my name because I love myself so much. And I guarantee she just saw like a video on YouTube of her. I can't wait till the Browns games, bro.
I mean, I didn't block them, but I remember the guy's not there anymore, I don't think, but like Ramblin' Fan did an article on me like Jake Ellenbogen is wrong. And I was just,
He really called you out.
yeah, like this guy.
That's what's funny is we're going to start getting called out for stuff.
Oh yeah.
Which honestly, like I'm cool with because fine, like I'm wrong about stuff. You're
Yeah.
wrong about stuff.
Yeah.
But no one's going to be able to call me out for faking DMs with NFL players or
That's
or cheerleaders, whatever it would be.
that's weird. That's just something I wouldn't bother
So
with.
wild, so wild. But
Yeah, you know, you have your different categories of people. You know, you have people that are true content creators. There's this one guy, Alex Rollins, I think his name is. He is killing the game.
on YouTube,
Absolutely killing it.
what he like film like
His
Brett
film
Coleman,
breakdown
right?
and Brett Coleman's are the best you can find.
Yeah,
They're so good. And they're so comprehensive, and I feel like I learn.
right.
You know what I mean? I think that's the thing. If I can watch your video and learn, then it added value to my day.
Right.
If I'm sitting there and you're telling me things that I already know,
Yeah.
well, you didn't really add value to my day.
Yeah, the way I see content creation is like you got to provide value, obviously. And it's like if you don't learn anything or you don't get some joy out of it, whether it be laughter or like validation or like just like, oh, this is exciting.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like what's
Exactly. And I don't know, like I'm doing, you know, that team, the all 32 team preview series. And now, like, I have some Rams fans, not calling out the whole fan base, but I have some Rams fans that are downvoting my videos. And, like, this one guy was like, see, I'm an old school guy. Like, I don't believe in all like doing all those teams. Like, you should just be covering the Rams. I'm like, but like Jake Ellenbogen, nothing in that name
Yeah.
says Rams.
Right.
Or only Rams.
Yep.
or only Rams. But you know what I mean? Like for real. And so like I understand like same thing with like you, like your name like on YouTube's Adam Steele, but it doesn't say Adam Steelers.
No, exactly. And I did that on purpose. I was like, I kind of want to make it like
it's cool.
Football-ish.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to be like Steeler football or like Adam Steeler, blah, blah, blah. Like I wanted
Steeler
to be
Adam,
open.
like, like you didn't do so I don't know. And I feel like the true fans will sit there and be like, you know what?
The fake
I just
ones,
like Adam Steele.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch his stuff even when he's talking about like the Raiders nightclub, which by the way, Aiden mentioned in one of my streams the other day.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is like when you continue to grow and you make more content and you try to branch out, there is going to be people that are turned off because maybe they really did just join for your Rams content or my Steelers content. But it's like you can't let them stop you from trying to keep doing what you're doing and doing what you like. So
exactly,
they'll fall off. They'll leave mean comments before they do. They'll leave dislikes before they do, but they'll be gone, and then keep going.
I think one of the coolest things about like the Matthew Stafford trade for me has been the Lions fans that love Matthew Stafford so much that have joined my channel and have become part of my community and literally follow all of the Ram stuff.
Yep.
And they follow everything, but they follow all the Ram stuff. Yep. My favorite, I forget the last name, but Dabney is the name. Mm-hmm. And that person has literally been on all my videos ever since I dropped the Carson Wentz video. That's how Dabney found my channel and knew that I wasn't a Colts channel, but still follows my gaming stuff, follows my entertainment stuff. Like that stuff's really cool, you know?
That's how it works.
At the same time, you also have to realize people are busy. Not everybody has time to watch a video. Not everybody has time to watch a live stream.
Yeah.
So when people do, you know, I definitely like to show them some love. Like Aiden here, who's y'all see that Malik dude on Twitter, the massive Ravens fan.
Yeah. Have you seen Malik?
I have not.
He's crazy. He's just like a troll though.
Oh, okay.
He's not Sir Yacht levels where he, I don't know, is like making fame off of, I don't know what you want to call it, trashing people, being just like a total jerk. Like Malik's like a troll, and he is kind of a jerk, but he's a troll. So you just look at it through that lens, and you're just kind of like, whatever.
I got you.
But yeah, he's like a big Ravens fan, and under like every Steelers post, he's like Ben washed or Ravens better or all that stuff.
Why?
Yeah,
that's so weird.
And he's like on it, so you know he has the notifications on and all that stuff.
Oh, that's so weird, dude. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, well, honestly, so on the other side of the coin with the Matthew Stafford trade, you have the Lions fans that like. There's actually Lions fans that hate Matthew Stafford
because he got traded. It's his fault.
Which, by the way, for me to clear up any of this, the Lions and Matthew Stafford, it wasn't just like lip service, like the whole mutual part. They mutually parted. Matthew Stafford wanted to win a Super Bowl. And the Lions, with a new organization, basically retooled from the ground up, they wanted to get their guy.
Yeah, I saw it as a win-win the second it happened.
Brad Holmes was all over Jared Goff in the draft. He's been with the Rams since 2003. He's now a GM. He wanted his guy. Yep. I get it. I do. And so if you're still hating on Stafford for that, or if you're hating on Stafford for not winning, blame Matt Patricia. Blame, Caldwell, although I think Caldwell was underrated. But you get my point. Blame your defense. Blame the fact that you guys went to the playoffs. 8 of those 9 wins that you had, Stafford had to come from behind and win in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
I'm just saying, so I do get, Lions fans that will come in and be like, Stafford sucks. Oh, you think Stafford's going to win the MVP? You'll be crying when you realize how bad Stafford is.
Yeah, well, you know what the funny thing about all this is? We're just like barely scratching the surface of the amount of comments that are going to be like that. I know. You just have to ignore it or else it'll eat you up, man.
Oh, I know.
Because it's only going to get more.
Spit you out.
It's only going to be more and more as you grow.
Speaking of the Ravens, that's my next video. Going to be breaking that team down. It'll be interesting to do a deep dive on them. I mean, I think that their team's pretty good.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, we've talked about them from top to bottom. They're depth filled.
Oh yeah. Great defense.
I had a hard time putting together because I on my graphic I have the top 5 players, at least I think, on the team. So of course I had Lamar. I had J.K. Dobbins because I feel like he may not be there yet, but I feel like he's there. I actually left off Calais Campbell because I had Lamar, J.K. Dobbins, both corners, Peters, and, of course, Humphrey. He's just one of the best.
Yeah.
And then I had Mark Andrews.
Yep.
So you could argue I left off Patrick Queen.
He hasn't really done much, though.
Yeah, but, again, it's like the Dobbins effect where he's probably going to be, you know. And then Calais Campbell, you know. I mean, if you think about it, they've let a lot of guys go, though. You know, Judon's gone.
Mm-hmm.
They let, Zadarius. This team, I don't know what they do, but they just groom these, like, stud pass rushers all the time.
Yeah, they're very good at getting their style of guy.
And then they don't pay them.
Grooming him in. Yeah, and letting him go.
It's just like.
They're very good at letting him go.
Yeah, they're really good at that.
No, they're good at drafting is what it is. They're just they're very good at it. And that class that they got with Dobbins and Patrick Queen was crazy.
Dude,
remember when guys just kept falling into their laps?
They also got Malik Harrison the year prior.
Yeah. Wasn't it the same class?
Oh, no, you're right. It was the same class.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to the Steelers, dude. He was like a perfect Steeler linebacker.
It was crazy, that class they got. And they didn't do anything. They didn't trade up or anything. They just sat there, and these guys kept coming to them.
That's literally their – and, by the way, that's Eric DaCosta. I mentioned him earlier. That's the GM of the Ravens. What I meant to say is Nick Caserio from the Patriots, he is the GM for the Texans. I feel for him. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I'll be doing the Ravens, and then I'll be doing the Bills after that. So we'll see. I'll record that later on today. I'll probably get that out tonight. But I think that's going to do it for me, unless you have anything else.
I'm good.
We're going to end right at an hour. This is beautiful.
Awesome.
I love this for us. All right. That's going to do it for us. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. He is Adam Grego, also known as Adam Steele. You can find him at Adam Steele. You can find him at Renegade Adam on Twitter. Your Instagram is
_ Adam himself.
There we go. Yeah. You can find me on all social media, pretty much at JK Bogan. I think now everything is at JK Bogan, including a TikTok that I started doing. Don't ask why I started doing TikTok. I hated it. Now I'm doing it. And and Jake Ellenbogen is my YouTube. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you next Sunday. We have switched over to Sunday. Actually, I don't think you'll be here. So,
I won't for the next 2 weekends. I won't.
Yeah, so
But you'll have guests.
I'll make do. So we'll do that. All right, you guys take care, and we'll see you guys next